And that includes trying to put away holiday wreaths that are too big for square totes. So I guess I'm going to have to break down and buy some of those round totes that you see advertised. January is also the month to get organized in all areas of your life and to make plans for a new year where you intend to do more and get more crossed off your project list. And that may include getting more work done on your own memoir or capturing the stories of a friend or a loved one who's way beyond doing that for themselves. January is when I discover that I'm an organizational addict and a planner junkie. I'm so bad that besides buying most of the books ever published on getting organized for the past decade, to start out 2022, I ended up with three planners. And it's all because I was trying to find this gratitude journal that I've been using for the past 2 years. Um, I originally found it at Walmart, and what I like about it was it it has you list things you're grateful for. Kind of then it has you get in touch with your feelings each day. It has a doodle of the day, which I never used, but instead I put in prayer petitions of the day. And then it has your goals for the day and your to do list and a schedule. It even has a part to plan your breakfast, lunch, and dinner and where to log your exercise. So it was really a nifty little thing. And then it has blank pages where you can keep a journal or take notes on something. So the only drawback to this journal is that it would only, you fill in the blank of the day, but it only lasts for a couple months. Like this one went from September 30th to November 21st of 2021. So, but anyway, that's what I've really become accustomed to using, and I couldn't find it anymore. So I even looked online for it. No dice. So instead of doing that, when I couldn't find that, I bought this. And this is the one that I'm going to give away today. It is a such a beautifully illustrated book. It's a Pioneer Woman journal or planner, and it's just got the most luscious, lavish colored pages as dividers. It's just really pretty, and I hate that I'm not going to be using it, but it just isn't going to work for me. So if you will leave a comment in the comment section of this video, the first one to comment, I will get you this planner. I'll mail it to you, or if you live close by, I will make arrangements to meet you and give it to you. So it's a really nice one. Instead, um, I am using two planners in place of that one. This one says Hello 2022. I bought it at Hobby Lobby the other day. I just really like it, and but it doesn't answer all the um needs that I had. So I bought this one online. Do All Things with Love. Really pretty one again. I'm really attracted to flowers. I'm such a sucker for things like that. But it's got quite a few lines for each day that I can fill in, as well as a to-do list on the side. So it works pretty well. And last year, this is what I used for a planner and goal setter monthly. It had you set goals for health, relationships, creativity, spirituality, work, and adventure. And if you achieved most of the goals that you set for yourself each month, you'd be a really well rounded person. Well, I didn't, and I wasn't. So, and I couldn't find this one either. But I think I have an idea why this one only got printed 1 year, because the cost for printing a wire bound hardcover volume like this size with tabs, is probably well over $28 a piece. So when I got this for $35 plus shipping, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was really getting a good deal. Unfortunately, the person who published this didn't make any money on it after all was said and done. So Sherry and I are looking at possibly someday making our own journal to meet our needs rather than having to go on the public market and find something and adapt it like I'm having to this year. But the one thing I did really rely on this one for last year was it. I used it as a diary, and I really was glad I had it at the end of the year because I went back through it and reread the entries, and I was able to kind of map out my holiday letter to friends and family based on the diary that I had included there. So, um, so this year I got the Pioneer Woman Planner, which I'm not going to use. I got these other two, and I'm still trying to adapt those. But the one thing new that I'm doing this year is my iPhone comes with a program called Reminders, and this syncs with my iMac and with my MacBook Air, my laptop. So it doesn't matter where I am, if I mean I can access my reminders and my to-do list from my phone or my computer. And I have started leaving that reminder list for the day up on my computer screen, so I check it off as I get tasks done. So that's kind of the system that I'm experimenting this year in the planning and organizational department. And the reason I am discussing this with you is that I was noticing on a social media site that writers belong to that everybody was commenting about they're going through their computer files, they're getting things planned for the year. And if you are a writer, or if you are not, if you're planning to do a memoir, or at least trying to capture someone's stories, then it's good to have a plan for that. Otherwise, you'll just kind of try to remember that you're in the middle of this project, and you may never get it done. Meanwhile, your loved one may lose their life, and you can't ask them any questions anymore or go through photo albums with them. So I would strongly urge you that if you are in the process of doing a memoir or helping capture a loved one's stories, that you actually sit down and map out a plan for interviewing that person, or going through your journals. If it's your life you're trying to capture and relive, go through your journals and put sticky notes on the pages according to category. And then you'll be able to go back through that when you read it, and you can start transcribing your journals if you're a journaler. So, and if you're interviewing a loved one, set dates for those interviews and set a time to go visit and go through photo albums and have them describe the photos that are in that album and take notes, or do a recording, a voice recording of your interview with that person. So I'm trying to capture my husband's military career in a memoir. So when he starts to tell a story, I turn on my voice record app on my phone. And this year for his birthday, I bought him a laminated map of the state and some stick-on stars so that he can pinpoint the different rescue missions he went on in his helicopter. And we're going to use stick pins on a world map that his brother-in-law gave him, and do the same thing for his deployments and overseas missions. And I've already made a quilt of his uniform shirts and his military t-shirts. So that's kind of a memoir in and of itself. So if you're a baby boomer like me, you may be a little bit too task and work oriented, and that's when the organizational addiction comes in, because we can get so focused and involved in organizing our lives, and somehow we think that if we can do this, we can really control our lives. That's a big there's a big delusion going on there, but it makes you feel good for a little while anyway. So, as a baby boomer with this addiction, with this planner junkie trait that I have, uh, I've had to sit down and make a commitment for 2022 to start acting more like my shoe size instead of my age. I'm going to try to grow down for 2022. And that means that I'm going to try to be more in the moment, be more present. I grew up, and a lot of baby boomers like me did grow up. It was instilled in me, and probably many of you, that when you got home from school, you changed your school clothes into play clothes or whatever. You went and did chores, or you did your homework. You did everything that you had a responsibility to do before you ever thought about playing or watching television. So that's a really hard self expectation and programming. It's really hard to break that. So, at the ripe age of 72, I'm going to try to break that mold, but I still have a lot of things that I need to do uh, before I can play, before I can grow down for the day or the week or the month. So, I still have to rely on goal setting, and maybe you will too. I wish you the best as you embark on this new year. I hope it's full of lots of wonderful expectations, and that you shy away from all the negative news that we're hearing these days about doubling COVID infections. And I hope you can put aside those fears and totally concentrate on the moment, on the hope for 2022. And if you can do that and approach it in a very positive way, I'm sure that your thoughts and wishes will become reality. Next week, we're going to start talking a little bit more about personal artifacts and which ones that you might consider putting in your will, or which ones you think you need to keep that future generations may want. And now it may not be your son or your daughter or your kids that will want those artifacts, but your grandkids might. So keep that in mind. We're going to be discussing that next week, and we'll discuss the things that you should list that you want to go to certain individuals. Until then, until next week, enjoy your 2022 planning and organizing and goal setting. But don't forget, every once in a while, act your shoe size instead of your age. We'll see you next week.